So I think every single Star Wars fan out there can agree that ever since Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni stepped into the Star Wars universe, or at least got a lot of authority when it comes to the Star Wars universe, they have done nothing but improve the Star Wars universe. I guess a lot of people out there did disagree with some decisions that Filoni made with the Clone Wars Season 7, and I didn't really love the Bad Batch that much, but I can't deny the fact that they have done nothing except for improve the Star Wars universe as a whole, because I think a lot of us, at least a lot of us that are watching this channel, don't really like the sequel trilogy that much, or at least recognize the fact that they missed a lot of opportunities when it came to the sequel trilogy, and I don't think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will be missing that many opportunities when it comes to their Star Wars universe. And it seems like as time goes on, we get more and more information about them not missing opportunities, but also creating some great opportunities for the future of Star Wars, and some opportunities that we thought as Star Wars fans that we would never get back. Some stuff that we thought that we would never get a second chance at. It seems like we're actually going to be able to see that stuff, and it seems like they could even be improving a lot of the stuff that we really dislike about the future of Star Wars in terms of the actual Star Wars timeline with the sequel trilogy, because as we know, their little universe is set a good bit before the sequel trilogy time period, but Jon Favreau has said himself that everything leads to the sequel trilogy, so I think that they're even going to start improving certain aspects of the sequel trilogy that we thought was never possible. Let's check out what we're talking about today. So as you can see right here, this article from Bounding Into Comics says, new rumor provides plot details about the Star Wars Book of Boba Fett series. A brand new rumor claims to reveal details about the upcoming Star Wars Disney Plus series. And then they go into a lot of stuff that Jon Favreau and others have said about the show, some stuff that's pretty much confirmed about the show, and then they start going into the rumors and stuff like that. And I think that these rumors are really cool, and like I said earlier in the video, it's some stuff that I thought, and a lot of you I know for a fact have always wanted to see, but we kind of thought that we would never get to see it because of, you know, certain things on the back end, certain rights that George Lucas had, certain rights that Lucasfilm doesn't have, or at least that they don't want to take advantage of, because then they would have to pay certain people that they don't want to pay. But it seems like because of the success of The Mandalorian, because of the devout fan base that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have created for not only the content that they're creating, but also huge fans of the people themselves, of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni themselves, because of the great success that they have had, they are now letting Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, even if it's going to cost a little bit more money, even if they have to pay certain people, I don't know if it's George Lucas, I don't know if it's certain book authors or whoever it's going to be, even though they're going to have to pay a little bit extra to create this stuff that they're going to be creating with the Book of Boba Fett, I think they're willing to let them do that because of the success that they have had. Because if you remember back in the day, they were supposed to do a Boba Fett movie, and then they wanted to turn it into a show, and The Mandalorian was actually going to be a Boba Fett show. It wasn't going to be Din Djarin's show. It was going to be a Boba Fett show. That's what Jon Favreau originally wanted to do, and because they didn't have the rights, or because they had to pay extra to make it a Boba Fett show, they told Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, go ahead and create a new Mandalorian, and you can have him be very similar to Boba Fett, so you can still tell that Mandalorian story, but we don't have to pay for the extra stuff. And now they're just straight up letting them do a Boba Fett show. So this article goes into some stuff that Jon Favreau has said in the past. A few details have been released about the show, but it was confirmed by the show's executive producer Jon Favreau that the show is going to be arriving on Disney Plus in December. He told Good Morning America at the end of the show, Boba Fett came out and said the Book of Boba Fett coming in December of 2021, and that wasn't part of the big Disney announcement, but here's a logo. So it's actually separate from The Mandalorian Season 3, but what we didn't say in the announcement is that the next show coming up, Kathy said the next chapter, and that is going to be the Book of Boba Fett. So Boba Fett is kind of in the Mandalorian universe. It's kind of in the same, I guess, overall book series as the Mandalorian universe, but it's going to be a separate chapter from The Mandalorian. And like I said, I'm going to go into this a little bit later, but I think that this is going to be pretty huge for the future of Star Wars and show us some stuff that we never thought that we would be able to see. And I'm going to go over that in 1 second. But the official Star Wars Twitter account noted that the Book of Boba Fett, a new original series starring Tamora Morrison and Bing Na Wen. We already know this stuff. Let's get into the actual rumors that we're going to be talking about today. Actor Tamora Morrison, who plays Boba Fett, did reveal to Rotten Tomatoes in June that the show will feature flashbacks. Well, we can't say too much, but we're going to see his past and where he's been since The Empire Strikes Back. Somebody pointed out he's been kind of stuck in this one place, and now it's time for him to actually go back in time and check out his journey and find out more about him. So we're definitely going to see flashbacks. I think even Favreau has confirmed that we're going to be seeing flashbacks, and I think they say later on in the article that because his new armor is kind of matte now, or not really matte, but it definitely has a different look than his old armor back in The Empire Strikes Back. I think they did that for a reason. I think Favreau even says that somewhere in this article, that they did that for the reason of being able to show flashbacks and not have people confused confused about what time period they're in, because we're not going to see him unmasked that much, even if at all. I don't know if we're going to see him unmasked at all, but we're not going to see him unmasked that much, so we can't really tell the difference in how young or old he looks. So we can actually tell the difference between how his armor looks, because it does look very different in The Mandalorian than it did back in the original trilogy. But Star Wars Newsnet reports we have learned that in this series, Boba Fett is in revenge mode. He will be going after everyone who did him wrong in the past, and he will also be looking for any other bounty hunters. They also note that Boba Fett will receive new armor, like I said, new armor, and it's possible this new armor will be used to help differentiate between the past and present as flashbacks are expected. So there it is. It wasn't Jon Favreau that said it, but it was Star Wars Newsnet, who are very, very accurate in their reports. 99% of the time, they're spot on when they report stuff when it comes to Star Wars. But what I'm pretty excited about, and what I'm a little bit confused about, what I'm really intrigued by, I should say, is Boba Fett is in revenge mode, and he will be going after everyone who did him wrong in the past. That's not really confusing. That's going to be pretty cool to see. I'm not going to lie. I'm really excited about that. But then they say he will also be looking for any other bounty hunters, or for other bounty hunters. I wonder if he's going to be looking for other bounty hunters because he's in revenge mode and he wants to get revenge on other bounty hunters, or if he's going to be looking for other bounty hunters to help him out for some reason, to help him out. Maybe there's a big guy, like some really powerful person that he wants to get revenge on, maybe Mace Windu. Maybe there's this really powerful guy that he wants to get revenge on. And also, all the Mace Windu rumors with Ming-Na Wen slipping up and saying that stuff, and then they come out and say he's going to be in revenge mode and he's going to be going after everyone who did him wrong in the past. After all these Mace Windu rumors have been coming out, come on, man. It's pointing towards Mace Windu returning. And then he's looking for other bounty hunters, I guess kind of putting together a team, kind of like Mando did in his show. I hope they don't go with that repeat stuff, because it was kind of like Bad Batch felt like Mando, with Omega being the Baby Yoda figure. I hope they don't do that for Boba Fett, but I don't think they will. But maybe he's putting together a team of bounty hunters to go after Mace Windu for killing his dad, Jango Fett. Maybe that's the case, and if that is the case, that's very, very exciting. And hopefully, I mean, Din Djarin is pretty much confirmed to be in this show. It's been reported multiple times that he's going to be in the show. And if Boba Fett is looking for other bounty hunters, I mean, Din Djarin is right there to help him. You know, Din Djarin, a lot of people forget, but he was a bounty hunter, and I guess technically he still is a bounty hunter, even though in season 2 he didn't do much bounty hunting. But, you know, in season 1 he started off as just a bounty hunter, you know, just kind of a stone cold killer. But it's unclear if the bounty hunters did him wrong or if he'll be recruiting them in order to seek his revenge against other people who have wronged him. That's kind of what I just said. Fett is no stranger to working with other bounty hunters in Disney's current canon of Star Wars. In the Clone Wars, he worked with a lot of other bounty hunters, and they just go to other stuff from the Clone Wars and stuff like that. But every single rumor, every single leak that we're hearing about this show, about the flashbacks and the different armor, he's going to get new armor, and maybe even, you know, Mace Windu returning. I'm really hoping that's the case. The only problem I have with that is it's Boba Fett's show, so he has to win. And I know a lot of people hate when I say this, but I don't want to see Boba Fett beat Mace Windu. I just don't want to see it. I think Mace Windu is Mace Windu. He's too powerful for Boba Fett to defeat him. That's just my opinion, though. Let me know what you think in the comments about that situation. Would you want Boba Fett to defeat Mace Windu? Because personally, I don't want to see Mace Windu lose to just a Mandalorian. I know that Mandalorians they're one of the only races of people who are trained to beat Force users in combat and have actually beaten them many times in the past in combat. That's what I'm trying to say. Not that it's totally impossible for Boba Fett to beat Mace Windu in combat. It wasn't impossible for Jango Fett to beat Mace Windu in combat. But Mace Windu is just so powerful and so legendary at this point. To see Mace Windu return would be a huge deal, and to immediately have him die to Boba Fett would just be kind of anticlimactic in my opinion. I want to see Mace Windu maybe appear on the show and then somehow escape and then come back later on, and just small appearances here and there. I don't want to see him become like a main character again or anything like that. But I would definitely like to see him come back in the Boba Fett show. Let me know what you think about the whole situation. What do you think about all these leaks from the Boba Fett show? What do you think about Mace Windu returning? Because I really do think he's going to return. If you don't know about the Ming-Na Wen situation, I did a video a while back on that, but Ming-Na Wen pretty much let it slip that she was working with Samuel L. Jackson on the set of Book of Boba Fett. That's kind of a confusing situation that you need to look into more yourself before you make a decision on what she was trying to say when she said that. But let me know what you think about the whole situation. What do you think about all these leaks? What do you think about Mace Windu coming back and possibly Boba Fett defeating Mace Windu? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, though, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to follow me on Twitter. Link to that in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video. Hope to see you in the next one.